Okay, here's my solution. Part A, the domain is equal to, I'll write it in interval notation. Well, they told me in the given information the X is income between 8025 and 32550 inclusive, so I'm going to include the smallest value with a closed bracket, 8025, comma, and then write the largest value, 32550, and then put a closed bracket because we're including. So it's all values. This is money. The domain is the income, X. It's $8,025 all the way through $32,550. Those are the only values of income that we're interested in. Part B, the tax bill. If, so what is T? T of X when the income is $20,000. So we're actually looking for T of $20,000. We're going to let X equal 20,000 in the given equation. 0.15 times 20,000 minus 8025 plus 802.50. Well, you got to go through and simplify inside the parentheses first, then multiply by 0.15, then add 802.50, and you will eventually get, and I'll put a dollar sign on it because this is a tax bill, it is $2,598.75 when you simplify it. So that is the answer to part B, the tax bill if your income's $20,000. Part C, which is the independent variable, which is the dependent? Well, the independent variable changes, and then according to whatever that variable is, you plug it into the equation and you get the dependent variable. So the one that we vary and plug into the equation is the X, the income. So when we throw the income into the equation, we find out what the dependent variable is. It depends on whatever the X value is. It's T of X. So we see that income, which is represented by X, is independent variable. So we can choose it to be anything we'd like and plug it into the equation. While the tax bill, which is what we call T of X, in other words, it's the Y partner, T of X is the dependent variable. Right? Oh, I should have put a box around this one also, the domain. Okay, part D, graph the domain. Okay, a graph over the domain. Well, they told us it was a linear function, and that's good news because we know something about linear functions. The graph is a straight line, so we just need 2 points, 2 ordered pair points, and draw a straight line to connect them. Okay, let's do it. Let's come up with X and Y ordered pair. Well, we already figured one out. We can figure the first one out first. Let's take 8025. That's the smallest value X can be. If you plug it into the equation, 0.15 times X minus 8025 plus 802.50, what happens in the parenthesis? 8025 minus 8025, right, gets to be 0 times 0.15. The whole thing goes to 0 there, and then all that's left is the stuff added at the end, and that will be your T of X. In other words, your Y value, 802.50. That's what you get when you plug X equals 8025 into the given equation. Let's now use this information for our second point. When we let X equal 20,000, we found T of X, which is Y, to be equal to $2,598.75. Okay, those are 2 points. Those are 2 ordered pairs. That's enough for us to graph this function. Okay, here's our x-axis. This is our T of x-axis. So the horizontal is the income, and T of X is the bill. So the smallest value, let's say it's about right here. The X value is 8025. And its Y partner, let's put it about right here. That is 802 0.50. So those two meet right there. There's that ordered pair. Okay, that takes care of the first point. The second point, well, the biggest x value we can have, the smallest is 8025. The largest x value we can have, they told us in the beginning, it's part A, it's the end point of the domain, $32,550. That's the largest value. But before we get there, we have another point at 20,000, somewhere around here, 20,000. And we found, our second point, that the tax bill for 20,000 is up here somewhere. It's, let's see, that's my telephone. It was 20,000, T of 20,000 was $2,598.75. So that means that these two, this ordered pair is approximately here. So we have this point, and we connect those two together with a straight line. The thing is, you don't want to go too far because you have a restriction on your domain. So we can only go up to that there. Oops, don't want to I want to go to this point, and I want to stop at this point over here. And there is another point somewhere up here because that we can't go any further. Okay, that's our picture. And then part E, this is a tough one. Part E, the income tax if the bill was $3,352.50. So we are given that T of X is equal to 3352.50. We'll want to find X when this is true. So just replace T of X with the equation you're given for T of X. 0.15 times X minus 8025 plus 802.50. Now bring down the equal sign and bring down the other side. 3352.50. Okay, let's solve for X. Well, step one, get rid of fractions. Well, I mean, we could get rid of fractions, but better yet, let's just distribute multiplication by 0.15. We get 0.15 times X minus 0.15 times 8025 gives me 1203.75. Bring down the plus, 802.50. Bring down the equal sign. Bring down 3352.50. Okay, that gives me 0.15 and minus 401.25 equals this side. And then just isolate, oops, forgot my X right there. Isolate the X term by adding 401.25 to both sides. We get 0.15 times X equals, adding that 401.25 to both sides, I get 3753.75. And finally, dividing both sides by 0.15, I get X is equal to, I'll put a dollar sign on it, 25,025. And that is the income that you would have if your tax bill was the given $33,352.50. And we're finished.